this is a God-given, beautiful world. Exploring and adventure, kind of what I'm looking for. My name is Mike. Join me on my channel, Into the Art 365. Good morning, Explorer. It's a stunning morning this morning, a little bit fresh. I don't know if you can make it out on the camera, but there's quite a bit of dragon's breath going on. We are headed to Newlands Ravine, going to be parking off at the forestry station. So it's kind of a firefighter's hub. So they've got working on fire, and they've also got a whole lot of aircraft there that help fight fires in the summer season. I think also Cape Nature has a couple of offices around there as well. But yeah, we're going to be parking there and then heading up into an area called Dark Gorge. It's got an offshoot, it's called Dark Gully as well. We might try and see if we can get into the base of that and have a look around. Well, I'm expecting an epic adventure out of this one. Big thank you goes out to SLR Branding and Flagpole Cape for sponsoring today's episode. Please look in the description below for a link to their website. It's a family-friendly area. So in the summer months, you can actually come and walk right up to the fence and actually see the helicopters and see the working on fire guys around as they move in and out. Obviously, it's a working area, so one's still got to be cautious of moving vehicles and things like that. Newlands Forest provided lumber for, well, just the general development of the fort and the city of Cape Town. This area is an Afro-Montane forest, which in South Africa only makes up 0.5% of our full land mass. So it's very rare. Being a dry, hot country, it's not something that we find a lot of. It's one of the few places in the world that you actually find this particular type of forest. So obviously in the lower slopes where we are now, there's a lot of alien vegetation, a lot of kind of other stuff that was in here, and obviously because of the ease of gathering kind of timber over the years, the forest is not as old here as in Dark Gorge and Dark Gully. It's kind of really endangered and we need to protect it. So on a lot of the paths here, you'll see signboards by various NGOs just trying to educate the public. Now, for most of us who live outside of the South African context or the African context, you kind of think, well, just stop the lumber, just stop cutting down trees. Now, the issue is not actually cutting down trees here at all. In fact, it is our traditional healers and our herbalists who come in here and strip trees of bark and try and gather various vegetation for their herbal remedies and things like that, many of which are not clinically proven. That's the first thing. And the other thing is it's not sustainable. So one of the things that they do is, as I said, strip the bark, and they do that in the lower parts of the tree trunks of some very threatened, endangered, rare species. And when you ring bark a tree, it basically it's going to die. We have a heck of a lot of tree stripping here, which is really sad, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to capture some of that today and actually show you what it looks like. So whilst it is an indigenous forest for the most part, you've got to realize that in the lower parts, historically it was used for forestry. So we've still got a lot of areas like this one where there are pine trees which are totally not indigenous to South Africa at all, and they create quite a few problems in the sense that they normally sit quite close to our water sources and will then shed seed and everything else, and this seed will then go down the river beds and then infect huge tracts of land with trees that actually are not indigenous, cannot sustain sort of the ecosystems that are here, and will actually cause a lot of damage to undergrowth and other trees. Obviously they're occupying space that other trees should take up, and then also the animals and bird life move away because it's not part of their natural ecosystem. So the attempt today is to go up this gully over here. There's actually two. There's Dark Gorge, which goes this way, and Dark Gully, which cuts off to the right there. We're going to try and get to the base of that so you can have a look at it and tell you a bit of a history around that. And then right at the top, I'll try and zoom in after this, but right at the top is Pulpit Rock, which is an absolute beautiful lookout point.
It's always hurry up and wait for your big break to come around. But if I crack the code a little late, I'm supposed to blame my age and not this town. Yeah, that don't make no sense to me. Cause if time defines my trajectory, then being 25 should make me history. So go ahead and write me off, that's fine by me. I'm gonna move.
With human habitation and encroachment on our wildlands and wild areas, we can't afford to have, you know, natural forested areas, especially the rare ones like these, actually being damaged by people. You know, trees are easy to kill and cut down in a few moments, but take decades and some of them hundreds of years to actually grow. So this is obviously an example of a tree here that's been ring barked and is dead. I'll show you what the top of it looks like now, and then after that I'll show you a tree that's been ring barked, and Cape Nature has managed to actually put this like a brown substance that they put on it to try and help the tree survive a ring barking. Don't mistake the few bits of green foliage as being part of this tree. Those are vines and creepers that are growing on the old dead wood. So here's an example of a tree that has been ring barked and obviously been protected by Cape Nature. On this one you can see it a bit more clearly, how they've put this black substance on it to try and almost create an artificial bark and help protect the tree. For the most part these trees don't survive, but this one's actually done quite well. So higher up you'll actually see a whole lot of foliage that is actually just indicating that the tree's thriving and actually trying to recover.
I'm gonna move to the beat of my own drum. Don't care who's watching, it ain't you. Calling the shots, and you when I'm done. Call me a fool for thinking I could really be someone. I'm gonna move.
Clearly I've got little kids. First thought that came to mind when I saw these moss-covered boulders is that animated movie Frozen with all the boulders that are kind of mossy and that become chalk.
All these sharks up in the hills, couldn't care less if I sink or swim.
So this is obviously freshly been stripped, quite badly damaged as you can see, and unfortunately these trees are all going to die. So you'll never guess what I just came across. It's the Sugarbird team, eh? Sugarbird team?
Yes.
They are an NGO that actually paints the trees. I know that sounds really strange, but what it does is it prevents the guys from actually ring barking. They don't steal the bark, they can't use it. But first, let me introduce you to Alex.
Hello guys, my name is Alexander. What I do, we work for Sugarbird Trust, painting the trees that are being bark stripped to prevent the trees from being bark stripped. So when you paint the tree, you actually devalue the bark. So when you devalue the bark, no one will have interest on that trees to have to strip them. Because we are running a problem that people, they come and then they steal this bark. What they do, the guys, they come at night and then they do the bark stripping, carry them in bags and then go to sell it for muti, of which like that muti is something that is not for real. It's just something in their head that is gonna work, but they don't actually work.
So tell the viewers what
like
muti is. So obviously I've got some overseas guys, they don't know muti. Muti is a very African term, so you tell them what muti is.
Okay, muti is actually traditional medicine. Traditional medicine actually for like any disease or stuff that they believe it will cure or do something else to, not to harm, but just to, for their like purposes. I'm not sure. Like,
protect them maybe from the ancestors or from dark magic
something
or something like that.
Something like that. They will buzz with it or whatever, what they will believe in. But actually, when they tested the tree, there was actually no content substance like that in the tree. So now we're trying to discourage these guys not to do what they're doing, because like the trees, like they are actually cutting down. As you can see, a tree like this can be like about 30 to 40 years. Since they're indigenous trees, they will take longer to grow. This is the Cape alder. Like this, the red alder. Let me say, this is the red alder. The red alder or the butter spoon. The butter spoon, because like at the end of it, it's got kind of like a spoon on it.
Yeah, the leaf.
The
is
leaf,
shaped
yeah.
like a spoon.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
this is actually the seed.
Yeah.
At the end, this is actually the seed. Yeah, when it falls, yeah,
Oh wow.
it becomes
okay.
a seed. Yes,
And that's
it's
how
a-
the tree grows.
That's how the tree. Yeah. So this tree, like, if you strip it, if they strip it, it's got a reddish color. So that reddish color, they believe is like kind
The
of like
bark?
bloody.
The bark or the actual trunk of the tree?
The bark.
Okay.
It will have a reddish lining on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
on the inside. Yeah. So they will think kind of like a pinkish, like reddish kind of bloody
Yeah.
look. Yeah, on it. I don't know what they use for it, but they're actually like destroying the forest because
Sure.
the trees. What happens to the trees now? There's a trick that happens with the trees. Some of the trees, they share the roots.
Oh, from one to the next to the next.
Exactly.
Okay.
So even the other one I'll show you, they will grow next to it.
Ah.
So
okay.
the root system is mostly like connected.
All right.
It doesn't end there. When the tree falls, it will fall with a lot of trees.
Oh, so a lot of trees will die because of one is
Because
dying.
of one tree, yes. And then now, these
Sure,
are indigenous
eh.
trees, mind you, they take very long to grow.
How
When
old
they-
is this one? How old is this one, Alex?
This one will be like about 40 years.
40 years for
I'm
this tree.
telling you, yeah. And it's not going to be that tall because it's like indigenous trees. They don't
Yes.
use a lot of water. Just the root system is very, very, very deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are actually, most of them will be actually connected. The paint is half organic paint. And it's got a lot of water in it. It's water based, so there is no like medicine, like whatever chemicals they use is actually friendly to the environment. So what they do, the guys, we paint the tree almost like a 2 meters, as much as like your arm can reach, so that no one will have that access to cut. The guys, they don't come with ladders or anything to cut above that.
See how we painted, yeah?
Yeah.
Sipo, all right. Well done, Sipo.
This is what we call the red, the Cape Beach. It will have a purplish color on it, and the leaves are quite rubbery. That's how you can recognize the tree. Yeah. This is just the baby one. I'm gonna show you the big one.
Oh, so the guys have just painted this one now, and this
just
is
painted
also
this one
the
now.
big one of what we've just seen, eh?
Yes, this is the Cape Beach. that
So
is
tell
how
me
the
this
Cape
paint that you're painting on.
Beach- Yes.
Okay, so we can actually see the paint actually being painted on this side here. This is obviously a fresh job that's being done.
Yes.
But how long does the paint last?
The paint. You are looking for something like almost like 5 years.
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah. You are looking for something. After 5 years, as the tree grows, the moss also grows.
All right.
You know the moss?
Yeah.
Yes. So the moss actually is the paint out.
Ah,
That's
okay.
the interesting thing about it. So this is not the final solution to have all the trees painted.
Yeah.
But as they try to do other ways to conserve the nature around.
Well,
us.
every bit helps,
Yeah,
isn't
exactly.
it? eh?
Every
So
bit
if you
helps.
stop the guys from
So
doing
we're
that.
doing also night drills to check out the guys who are coming and stripping at night. But this is just when you paint, you kind of slow them down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where we would trip.
So like an anti-poaching unit, but for bark. Ultimately, that's kind of what you do.
Definitely,
And then obviously
definitely.
you get to see other stuff as well, which they, being conservancy, I know you guys are focused on the trees, but I mean, if you see someone laying traps or snares or something like that, you'd also
Exactly.
be able
Actually,
to
even
counter it.
people who are gonna be like sleeping inside the forest because
Ah,
it's
yeah.
not allowed.
Yes.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of things, and we do clean. When you see bottles laying
Rubbish,
around,
yeah.
we that's why we carry the big bags.
Yeah.
We keep the bottles into the bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that said, not only plastic things, so orange peels, all those kind of banana peels, we pick
Yeah.
them up and throw
get
them in
them
the
right.
bin. Yeah. Because they are not like indigenous.
Yeah, and
they
they
are
take a
not
long time
part-
to
yeah,
break down, isn't
yeah,
it?
Exactly. And they are not part of the, what can I say?
The natural habitat.
The natural habitat of it, yes, yeah.
So, to you hikers out there, if you really want to help this team,
Yes.
I'm actually going to get the number from Alex, and then you'll be able to actually volunteer on the teams as well and help them out. They are an NGO,
Yeah,
so I'm
we
sure they'd really love a bit of funding.
funding, yes, yes.
Hey, am
I
I
was
right?
gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Sugarbird Trust is actually community funded. Like,
And not only is it protecting, you know what it's actually doing is it's actually feeding families as well. At the end of the
That's
day,
true, that's true.
this NGO is providing work, and that's these guys will be able to feed their kids, which is a really important thing in a country that's economy is really struggling.
yes.
So that's really helpful as well. And then you can come and join them, spend a day out with them in the forest, see some of the
Exactly, yeah.
beauty, and help with the trees.
Exactly.
And or pick up some rubbish. Thanks very much, Alex.
Yeah,
and,
thanks to you too. Yeah, I think
hopefully
it
we'll
too,
catch you again in the future.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
And hopefully the trees will stick around, and we'll have a next something for the next generation, eh?
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah, thank you very
Thanks,
much.
man, Alex.
Yeah, it will help a long way to go a long way.
It will.
Cool. Thanks.
Cheers, man. How amazing to meet up with these Sugarbird Trust guys, eh? Yo, they really are doing an amazing job. So we're going to end this two-part series here. Please join me on the next episode as we continue our journey up Dark Gorge.
It's my trajectory. And being 25 shouldn't make me history. So go ahead and write me off. It's fine by me. I'm gonna move.
Come down. Yes, I can come down. I can stack. And that's exactly how it works. Too late.
Call me a fool.